Good evening. It's my great pleasure to introduce to you His Excellency Ambassador Riho Kruuv from Estonia. This is a country that you don't hear about much, but when you do hear about it, it's for all the right reasons. And what we'll do is I'll set a little bit of the context, but I would like the ambassador to share the journey that Estonia has had. You know, I was just reading up on how the world has been talking about Estonia, and when you just Google Estonia, you'll find Silicon Valley of e-governance. You'll have headlines that talk about how far ahead Estonia is in providing its citizens a digital way of life in terms of providing public services. Where did this start from?
Good evening, everyone. First of all, I'm very pleased to be here, and I'd like to thank the organizers of this beautiful conference for kindly inviting me and sharing the story of Estonia and what we have done and what's waiting ahead. But basically, the story started in early 90s when we regained our independence from Soviet Union, which collapsed in 91, as we know. And basically, we got a very poor, small country. Our size is about the same as Denmark or Netherlands, but the population is only 1.3 million. And then we had a huge task of running this country. And if you don't have oil in your country, if you don't have many other natural resources, you have to use mostly your brains or minds. And this is what we try to do. We were actually quite lucky because early 90s was the time when personal computers became available to the general public on quite reasonable prices, and also internet came out. And we were also lucky to have small, nice neighbors like Finland. And we were actually the only country in Soviet Union that could see, at least in northern coast of Estonia, we could see Finnish TV. So we were desperate to really catch up our northern neighbor, Finland, because we knew how normal countries operate and what is life on the other side of the Iron Curtain. So, and Finns had just come out with Nokia mobile phone. So we actually spent first 10, 15 years in Estonia after regaining independence, figuring out what is Estonian Nokia. And of course, this was like, you could literally hear our brains working. There was a lot of buzz around us, and we started heavily experimenting with internet and digital technologies, because we didn't have, basically we had geography, we had people living everywhere in our country, but 1.3 million people, you don't have really people to provide services to the full population. And then again, we were very much interested in people not moving to the capital, but staying where they live. And we wanted to do something which gives them an opportunity to use the services, both public and private, from their homes in peripheral areas of Estonia, if I may so. But we were also very tired of Soviet bureaucracy. So we wanted to build up our country in a very small government, very lean, very efficient. So putting those many things together, we had very progressive governments after we regained independence, which means that our leaders, political leaders, were very much into adapting to new digital technologies, seeing how we can quickly connect all our schools to the broadband internet, seeing how we can use digital technologies in governing the country. And very, very soon we came out with an idea of giving digital identity to every person living in Estonia. So it took less than 10 years. We had first digital identity cards issued in 2002, which is 17 years ago. And this was initially it was just a nice piece of plastic which you could use only as a travel document. But government made a very smart decision. First of all, um, having this digital ID card was made an obligatory. So everybody had to have it. Then it was decided at the government level that all the services that government agencies offer, they have to be also available in digital form. So there wasn't really an option of do we want to go digital or not. So they were all obliged to go. And of course, government was very like a driver of this change. And since that was the beginning, and initially all those public services started coming, and then banks followed, and then other businesses followed. So very, very quickly, we also developed another platform which we call Mobile ID, which is basically the same functionality what you can do with your digital chip card, you can also do with your mobile SIM card. So basically that gave us an opportunity to use all those services, authenticate ourselves digitally in a secure way using our mobile phones. And in 2005, we were that far in Estonia that we decided that we will experiment with internet voting. So this is 14 years ago, right? So now we have had like internet voting availability in municipal level, in national parliament level, and even European Parliament elections. And up to 30% of our population is using an opportunity to vote electronically. Now we can do it even with our mobile phones. And actually, people from 116 countries used it last time. So it doesn't mean that internet voting is going to replace the traditional, like poll station kind of elections, but it will only give another opportunity. And we see like 100, we are a small country, we would never be able to organize elections in 116 countries, right? But then again, you people who travel or live in outside of Estonia, they can still participate in political process of the country. And by having this technology, we have also managed to make elections popular for younger generation. So they don't care about going to the poll stations, but if they can do it using internet or even mobile phone, that will be very attractive for them.
We're in an election year in India this year, as you know, and we have 130 million new voters that are young. They're first-time voters. Have you talked to the Indian government about e-governance and if we could do voting from Estonia's experience? Because we've tried EVMs, there's a lot of back and forth and argument about how safe or unsafe EVMs can be. What is it from a cybersecurity perspective that you do that we could learn something from?
First of all, it's important to mention that we never really aspired to really have this internet voting initially. It has been like a side product of all those digital services that are available to our people. And since you had this digital platform available, you could securely authenticate yourself, you could give digital signatures. So making this step forward was the only way to really adding another layer of services to the platform that we already had. But of course, we have a very intensive dialogue with both government of India in union level, and also we have developed a very active relationship with some of the states in India to see how we can, how these solutions that are developed in Estonia and are working and are secure, how they can be used for the benefit of people of India. And of course, it is important to mention that none of these services are really like off-the-shelf things. You still need to customize, you need to develop and redevelop them to fit to Indian market. So we definitely need help of Indian companies to work together with us to make these services available. And I'm very pleased to say that Geo Reliance is already found very interesting to work with Estonian engineers, and they are like working together to develop this digital service platform for Geo. So that might be a big game changer for India as well in the future.
And the CEO of Reliance is an e-resident of Estonia?
Well, that's right.
Could you tell us about the e-residency, because there might be folks here who might apply?
Basically, I already told that we had this digital ID and mobile ID in our pocket for a long time ago, and then we really thought that since we have all these platforms already up and running, so why do we keep it only to Estonians or people that live in Estonia? And some of the people came out with an idea of launching the program of e-residency, which is basically an opportunity for foreigners to become like e-residents of Estonia. They can get the e-residency card, chip card, which is giving them a digital identity with the Estonian government. They can securely authenticate themselves. They can sign documents digitally. And we already have more than 50,000 e-residents in the world. And they have established more than 6,000 companies in Estonia, and I'm extremely proud for India having more than 2,000 e-residents, and we have 276 companies in Estonia that have been established by Indian young entrepreneurs using e-residency. So most likely this will become a major platform for our economic cooperation in the future. And what we aspire actually is to really give people an opportunity to enjoy this, what we call digital nomad lifestyle, which is that you can actually establish company in Estonia. It takes you 18 minutes over internet. So once you have company in Estonia, you have company in European Union, which is 500 million market. So forget about Estonian 1.3. So and lot of entrepreneurs have found it very useful, so that they can use Estonia as the foothold for developing their business interest in Europe, and also even going further to US, because a lot of particularly people doing e-commerce, something where you need to accept payments in digital form, like PayPal, some others. So you can't have it in India, right? But you can do it in Estonia. So if you have a company there, you can use all the sources or means of payment. So that has been very attractive for some of the entrepreneurs here.
One of the things I think a lot of the world doesn't know is you guys were doing blockchain before blockchain was there. Could you tell us a little bit about that and how Estonia came to that? And how is it different from the perception of blockchain being Bitcoin, which is used on the platform? So,
well, that's a quite funny story. Actually, Estonia, since we started actively developing our digital society in early, well, mid-90s maybe, we were quite advanced in mid-2000s, and that again made us quite vulnerable for cyber attacks, and we were actually first country in the world that was like officially declared as the first victim for like a focused cyber war from across the border. And initially, of course, few servers went down, and it was quite a complicated situation, but we managed to take this lemon, which was given to us, and we turned it to a lemonade. So after this cyber attack, the best brains in Estonia came together, and they started working on technologies which came known as blockchain. So it is, sometimes it's said that we started using blockchain technology even before it was officially invented. And of course, blockchain is known mostly for being like a platform for Bitcoin, but it has the applications of blockchain technology are very, very broad. And we can easily say that we use blockchain extensively in our digital platform in Estonia, and its blockchain is covering almost every aspect of digital services that are offered by the government, be it e-health, be it land registry, whatever. I mean, basically, it's like a dust of blockchain is everywhere. So we have good companies doing this work on these technologies, and we believe that this is definitely the technology which is going to be a game changer for the world.
The other element which I was very intrigued by as I was reading Estonia's journey in adopting e-governance was you used to have a pretty high backlog of legal cases in the courts. And once you adopted the platform to digitally enable a lot of this stuff to be processed, it has come down dramatically. India suffers from that problem chronically. Tell us about that experience. Is there something that we could again learn from that experience? Because I think democracies are only functional if you can bring justice quick. Unlike cases here get stuck for 20, 30 years if you go to court. How's that experience been from your perspective?
Thank you for the question. I think the courts is of course only one area where you see like a real benefit of digitization or using digital technologies in providing public services. I think it comes down to first to efficiency of the process. I mean, you can do things faster. I mean, Estonian government is known to be, it's paperless. Yes. And it has been counted that every year we save 2% of our GDP just because of we have this opportunity to give digital signatures. So little by little it adds up. And I think one major benefit is also when we talk about digital governance is that it's been extremely important in terms of increasing the transparency of the processes and the economy in general, because you cannot bribe the computer, right? So you just click and it goes, and you expect it to be like the information come back quickly, and there are certain deadlines established for public servants to really do the job. So that has been very important in our case to also to bring down the corruption level. So I'm far from saying that we are 100% corruption free. You still see it in some municipal levels when you need to deal with like public servants issuing your construction permit or something. So where you need this personal interaction with people. But all in all, it's been absolutely like a revolutionary way of doing things and providing the services. I think it's the most important actually. Yes, this 2% of GDP is nice. If you save it, the money, you can use it in somewhere else, like healthcare or education. But I think it's been extremely important to really raise the quality of life for people, because you don't need to go to like a public office anymore to stand in long lines to get something done. And there is also a principle in Estonian system that the government can only ask your data once. So if some government agency has get your date of birth, your address or something, the other government agency cannot do it again. I mean, it has to be available through the system. distributed between the, shared between the servers in a safe and secure way. So that has been also extremely important game changer, because when you interact with the government, you just say your name and date of birth and that's it. I mean, the rest is like running smoothly. And we are a little bit spoiled now. I mean, you expect like very fast delivery of service, fast response. And if you don't get things done fast, you are like, what's going on?
It must be tough adjusting to India.
Well, every country is beautiful in its own way. I was very excited when I came to India in 2016 to see how this initiative of Digital India, how it has like taken off. And just a few months after my arrival, Aadhaar was launched, and I'm very strong believer that if these security issues can be solved for platform Aadhaar, this will be a major like revolution for this country in terms of providing service to people, bringing the cost down, and also, I mean, it's maybe electronic voting is too much to ask, but there are so many applications in which Aadhaar could be used, and I truly hope that it can be also used in between consumers and businesses and between businesses, because you only reap the benefits of digital identity and signatures when it's going through all your society. At least this is what we believe in Estonia. And I think, speaking about India, I think it was fascinating to see how this mobile technology has changed the landscape of this country in terms of taking services to the villages, to the people that never had access to certain things, and how it has eliminated the need for all sorts of middlemen taking commission of doing this and that, and also reducing corruption. So I think India is on the right path. Future is bright. Keep going, and don't hesitate to ask for help and assistance. We are ready to help you and give you our expertise.
Great. Thank you so much, Your Excellency. This has been absolutely fascinating to learn what Estonia has done in the e-governance space. Thank you for joining us at One Globe, and could we get a round of applause for the ambassador, please?
Thank you very much. Thank you for listening, and thanks to organizers for giving me this opportunity to share.